This is a species of Iridaceae, the iris family, and in Western Oregon it has one of the longest blooming seasons of a perennial, blooming from March until June. Beautiful flowers, and you can see the growth form in this photo. Close-up of the flowers reveals the position of the ovary, which is important for the family identification. There's a lot going on with these flowers, but first we're going to look at the fruit. The fruit is a capsule. At maturity, it opens by 3 valves, exposing the seeds. The seeds of Iridaceae lack the shiny black coating of phytomelon that is characteristic of other families of asparagales. Here you can see that there's 3 carpels, so this tells us there should be 3 styles. Looking at the flower, though, the question is, where are the styles? Where are the anthers? Well, this flower does a very good job of hiding those. As we zoom in, we can see that the sepals, the outermost whorl, are larger and more colorful than the petals, which are narrow and upright. Here you can more easily see the relative size, shape, and coloration of the sepals on the right and the petals on the left. Now we've removed the sepals and the petals, exposing the anthers. So what's left in the middle? What's on top of the ovary? Those are your styles. They're called petaloid styles in this genus. And if we look at it more closely, you can see the position of the anther, and the stigma, the receptive part, is this little white flap seen in the center. Looking at the stigmatic flap more closely, we can see the textural difference between the upper and the lower surface. And under the microscope, we can see small papillae that are the receptive part of the stigma, and there's even a few pollen grains that have apparently been deposited by a pollinator. So now let's look at the flower again and see how the role of this in pollination. When a pollinator arrives, it'll be carrying pollen from another flower, and then that will come into contact with the receptive surface, the receptive side of the stigmatic flap. Then as the pollinator leaves, it'll take pollen with it, and it'll brush the bottom side of that stigma, so it won't do any self-pollination. So it's remarkable that there's a single flower that has 3 independent pollination units. This feature is found in several genera in the family Iridaceae, but is not known outside of the family. Now finally, I want to see what's attracting the pollinator to this plant. Well, there's a lot of nectar produced here at the base of the sepals and petals, at the base of the perianth. And if we look at this close up, we can see some liquid produced here and some little indentations. So this is the nectary at the base of the sepals and petals. And if you need more convincing that this is sweet and attractive, this is a video of ants feeding on these nectaries. My former PhD student Paul Severns discovered this phenomena while working in native prairies of the Willamette Valley. However, we still don't know how important these ants are for the life cycle of the iris, if at all. In some tropical plants, for example acacias, ants are associated with the trees and will aggressively protect the tree from herbivores. But whether that's happening here in this species requires more research. Now watch this ant coming up the leaf. Looks like it couldn't care less, right? But moves up, and nope, it's gonna head down to the nectar and join the other ants, drinking away.